Hi, my name is David Berlanga, and in this video, I'm going to go over how to create Facebook ads. I'm going to take you from a complete beginner on Facebook ads to someone with a lot more experience on Facebook ads. That way you can make a better decision about whether this is something that makes sense for your business or if it doesn't. Now, this training is tailored for real estate investors, real estate professionals, and wholesalers, but really the systems can be tailored for any other niche, as long as you're able to translate them for your business's individual needs and the model of your business. So this is what we're going to be covering. We're going to cover why advertising on Facebook makes sense. We're also going to go over all of the assets that you're going to need prior to advertising on Facebook. And we're also going to go over how to create your first campaign. We're going to define your budget and show you how to optimize your campaigns. We're going to go over what a Facebook pixel is, and also we're going to touch a little bit on what the Facebook algorithm is. That way you're not just in the dark about it. Now, also I should mention that in case this video goes a little bit long, there's an option to higher the speed of the video. So if you want to watch it at 2 times the speed or whatever you're into, that's an option. So why advertise on Facebook? So there's a daily active user count on Facebook of 1.93 billion. That's billion with a B. So almost 2 billion people are on Facebook every single day scrolling, with the potential of getting advertised from your business. Now, total ad revenue from Facebook ads, it's $28.3 billion. So I hear it all the time. Facebook ads are too expensive. Facebook ads aren't working. There's tracking issues and yada yada yada. Can't tell you how many times I hear that. It simply doesn't make sense. Just look at the numbers. Do you honestly think that Facebook would be able to generate $28.3 billion on a service that wasn't working? It just doesn't make sense. Now, with Facebook, there's an average cost per click of 97 cents, so a little bit underneath $1. CPC, that's cost per click. It basically means how much it costs for one person to click on your ad. That's below $1. And your CPM, that's cost per mil. It's how much it costs for 1,000 people to view your ad. So the average CPM of Facebook ads is $11.54, which is honestly pretty great. And you know that if you've ventured into other areas of marketing. Now, why advertise on Facebook? This is, again, it's more tailored for real estate investors or real estate professionals. So whether you're dealing with a motivated seller or a buyer, the prospect is reaching out to your business directly. You don't have to go through a middleman. You don't have to go through a wholesaler or another agent. The people that are looking to sell their home or buy a home are reaching out to you directly with their name, their email, and their phone number, their contact information, letting you know, hey, I'm interested in your business and I need help. Here's my information. Please give me a call. It's like an inbound lead coming to your business. The other benefit is how easy it is to distribute content. So if you didn't know, Facebook and Instagram are the 2 largest social media platforms out there. So that's around 90% of everyone on social media is on Facebook and Instagram or one or the other. Now, they're under the same family, the same ecosystem, which is Meta. So that means that if you post an ad on Facebook, it also gets posted on Instagram automatically, since it's the same ecosystem. So that's just another plus, that you don't have to go around posting in different places. You post on Facebook, it's also on the other biggest social media platform out there, being Instagram. Now, here are some more technical points on why it makes sense. So one being the testing. Now, as opposed to traditional marketing like a billboard or a commercial, you're not really able to do testing prior to having a full campaign because this is not the way traditional marketing works. You can't test on a billboard. You can't even track a billboard's results. With Facebook, you're able to test, and if something isn't working, turn it off. And if something is working, you can increase the budget. You can keep track of all your numbers, all your KPIs, to make sure that the ad is actually performing to your standards. And if it isn't, you simply click a button and you turn it off. Now number 2, that's your targeting. So it's no secret, Facebook has been collecting our data ever since we signed up on Facebook. So Facebook is a social media company, but really it's a data company. So they're able to know exactly who needs your services, and they're able to show the ad to those people specifically. So again, going back to the billboard example, you post a billboard on a highway, hoping that someone drives past that billboard, remembers the number, and gives you a call. Whereas with Facebook marketing, you just post the ad, and Facebook already knows who needs to see your ad. And that way, whether they're at home or in bed or at a restaurant, wherever they are, if they have their phone and they're on Facebook, they're going to get hit with your ads. They don't have to be driving on a specific highway. Now, number 3, that's the way Facebook charges you. So on Facebook, you get charged once you get a click on the ad. That's pretty self-explanatory. And number 4 is how predictable it is. So this goes back to testing. So once you do the testing prior to your ads, and you find out what is working, and you get the winners from the testing phase, it becomes a whole lot easier to predict your return on investment once you start scaling the ad spend. So you can tell if I invest $1, for example, into my ad spend budget, I will get $2 back, $3, $5, or $10 out. You're able to tell what your return on investment will be because you did the testing prior to it. Now here are some of the assets that you're going to need before you start publishing ads on Facebook. The first one, and the most important one, is your business manager account. This is different from a personal Facebook account. The way that you create a business manager account is by going to business.facebook.com. So once you're there, it looks different than Facebook. You click on create an account if you don't have one already, and then you'll link it with your personal Facebook account. So the login information will stay the same. It's just a different type of account. It's a business manager account where you manage your business on Facebook. The next one being an ad account. This is the account that you will use to purchase ads on Facebook. So again, it gets created through your business manager, and you're able to select a payment method there, whether that's a credit card or a debit card, or they even have a PayPal option available. The next one is your Facebook page. And again, that's different from your personal Facebook profile. So take me, for example. My name's David Berlanga. That's my personal Facebook profile name, David Berlanga. And I also have my business called Good Fit Media, which has its own Facebook page that people can like. It's separate from my profile. That's the point I'm trying to make. So we need a Facebook page for your business. The next one would be to verify your domain. So if you're running landing pages for people to, whenever people click on your ad, they'll get sent to your website. Facebook now requires you to verify that you own that domain. That way they can start driving traffic to the domain. And that's honestly pretty simple. You literally just put in your website there and it verifies it for you. And last but not least is a Facebook pixel. So without going too heavy into it, a Facebook pixel is a piece of code that you put into your website that tracks everything that the people do on your website. So it tracks where the people are spending more time navigating through your website, where are the people getting stuck at in your website, where they're going through in your website, and if for some reason they exit out of your website without converting, that means without making an appointment or without making a purchase, the Facebook pixel will then be able to track them back on Facebook once they log it back in on Facebook and send them retargeting ads because they already showed interest on your website. They were navigating through your website, so they already have interest on your services. Those are some of the easiest pickings and easiest converting ads out there, simply because the people are already interested in you. You just need to give them a little nudge, a little reminder telling them, hey, convert. The next one will be how to create your Facebook page. And it's honestly pretty simple. If you don't know how to do it, use YouTube, how to create a Facebook page. And there will be a 30-second video from Facebook showing you how to. There's 2 different options for creating a Facebook page, and that's what I want to highlight here. You can select the business or a brand, which is the one that we want. or you can also have a community or a public figure Facebook page. So for example, a community or public figure, that would be like a soccer team or a politician, and this is more tailored to your business, right? It's a business or a brand. Now, if you're just starting out with a Facebook page, it's brand new, I recommend that you post 20 posts before you publish ads. That's so that the Facebook algorithm can start warming up to your Facebook page. Whereas if you just create a Facebook page and start running ads from it automatically, it's going to take a little bit more time for Facebook to start recognizing what your page is all about and who is into your page and the similarities between those people. Whereas if you already have posts on the Facebook page prior to running ads, Facebook already has that data from those posts to be able to make similarities between people and start targeting people based on the content on your page already. Now, if your Facebook page is brand new, I recommend that you post at least 3 times a day for the first 7 days. And then after that, you can start decreasing it. But definitely do not forget about posting. Post at least 2 to 3 times a week on your Facebook page. That way you can stay on top of mind and you can be relevant amongst your audience. Now, if you go to business.facebook.com, that's what the page will look like. And it's simply put, it's a primary hub for your Facebook and the businesses that you manage. So if you have multiple businesses, you're able to manage all of those businesses in the business manager account. So even if you have 5 businesses, you would be able to manage all of those assets, all of those ad accounts, all of those pixels, all of those domains on your one business manager account. So it's like a hub. Now here's how to create your first campaign. So let's go over what a campaign is, first of all. And it starts here at the top. This is a diagram describing what a campaign is. So the campaign being the biggest part, being the top of the funnel, that's where you're able to select your objective. So you can have an objective of lead generation, an objective of traffic to your website. Another objective could be receiving messages on Facebook Messenger. So that's where you set your objective, and I recommend that you only have one objective per campaign. That way it doesn't get confusing and the campaign can be optimized properly. Whereas if you have 2 or 3 or multiple objectives, it just gets scattered and Facebook doesn't recognize which one it should prioritize. So remember, one objective per campaign. Now inside of that campaign, you have ad sets, right? So you can have multiple ad sets inside of one campaign. And in the ad set level, that's where you define your targeting. So that means interest-based targeting. So you can have an ad set of people that are interested in home improvement, and then another ad set of people that are interested in soccer, right? So you can have multiple interest in different ad sets. And again, I recommend that you leave the ad sets, the interest-based targeting at one targeting per ad set, just so that you're not dealing with too many variables and it doesn't get confusing. Now budget, you're also able to manage the budget on each ad set individually. So let's say this home improvement interest targeting ad set is performing better than the other one. You can increase the budget on this ad set individually and leaving this one the same or turning it off, whichever one you prefer. Now placement, that means geographical placement. So you're able to select what city you want to target. For example, if you want to target Houston, Texas, you're able to do that on this ad set. And if on this ad set you want to target California, you're able to do it on this ad set. So you're able to target different geographical placements on different assets. Now, being able to optimize and your bidding strategy, again, that's handled at the ad set level. It's kind of a mouthful. And then on your ad level, again, you can have multiple ads in one ad set. And the ad is probably what you're most familiar with, which is the picture and the copy and the call to action, the landing page, basically the final product of the ad. And again, you can have as many ads inside of one ad set. Now, creating your campaign, again, I already mentioned this, but please only select one objective per campaign. So it's as simple as asking yourself, what do I want out of this campaign? Do I want to get more leads? Do I want more people to visit my website? Do I want more people to visit my physical store or my office? Or do I just want exposure? And then once you answer that question, you're able to actually structure your campaign with that intent in mind. Now, here's a little bonus tip. I'm going to go more into the testing here. So ideally, when you're testing, you should leave around 20 to 30% of the budget for testing. And what I mean by testing is testing your audiences, testing the creatives, and testing the landing pages. So we create one campaign for testing your audiences, another campaign for testing your creatives, and another campaign for testing different landing pages. And again, we're only using 20 to 30% of your budget for the testing phase. And then once we get the winners from all of those campaigns, so the winner of the audiences, the creatives, and the landing pages, we combine all of those winners into one campaign, the winner campaign, what I call it, or the prospecting campaign, and then double down on the budget. So that's where we start spending 70 to 80% of your budget, because we already know that it's a winner. We already know what's working because we did the testing prior to it. Now, when you're doing testing, I recommend that you budget at the ad set level. And then once you have the winner campaign, the prospecting campaign, you can start budgeting at the campaign level at the top of the funnel, since it's already converted into a full production campaign rather than a testing campaign. Now, creating your ad sets. If you're in real estate, then you would fall under the special ad category for housing. So that means that we're not able to target people based on their age, on their specific age, or on their individual zip code. So the way it works is by a radius. So again, let's say you're targeting Houston, Texas, and you want to target the whole metroplex of Houston. You would just put a pin in the middle of Houston, like drop a pin, and then select the radius of as wide as, I don't know, like 50 miles. I should select all of the metroplex in Houston, and then everyone in Houston will be able to see your ad. That's just simply because it's in the special ad category for housing, so we're not able to select individual zip codes. Now, again, for interest targeting, we usually just select one interest at a time. That way we don't have too many variables and it doesn't get all messy. Now, one of the best targetings that we've experienced or that we've gone through is just broad targeting. That means no interest targeting at all. We just let Facebook and its machine, its algorithm run without limits, full steam. They get to decide who views your ad and who should see your ad. And it just makes it a lot easier and it gets better results rather than us micromanaging your targeting options. We just let Facebook do its thing, especially if you already have your Facebook pixel integrated, because then Facebook is just going on a loop on figuring out who exactly needs to see your ad based on the data that it's collecting from your website. Now, if you're dealing with a smaller audience, you might have some issues with your CPM. Again, that's your cost per mil, the cost of 1,000 impressions, because the audience is just smaller. So the bigger the audience, the better, and the broader the audience targeting, the better. Now let's go into creating your ads. So there's plenty of formats to go around. Let me get my face out of the way. This would be a single image ad. It's the most simple out there. There's a clear call to action. We buy houses in any condition for cash. And then you have the copy. So don't mistake simple for bad, because we have made a bunch of money for our clients just on these single image ads. They're honestly one of the best performing ads that we run. The next one would be a video ad. Now you can publish a video and make it as long as you want, so you can take advantage of that. You can convey more emotion or more of the benefits of your service or your product, rather than an image ad, because you're able to speak verbally to the prospect. Now, the trick to making videos work is you need to have a strong hook. That way the audience can actually can get hooked and it can captivate their attention. Now the video has to be dynamic. That way people want to keep on watching your video. And then at the end of the video, which is probably the most important part, is having a strong call to action. That way the people will actually start looking for ways to do business with you rather than just scroll to another video. So strong hook, captivating video, and strong call to action. And then the next one will be a carousel. Now this is great more for products. So if you're like in the e-commerce niche, just simply because you're able to showcase more pictures on the ad rather than a single image ad. The only thing with carousels is that we've noticed that it brings your CPM, cost per mil, price up. So that means that your return on investment goes down, which it just goes back to testing. If it makes sense for your campaign, then it makes sense for your campaign. But that's just something to keep in mind. Now, a bonus tip is you have to be testing all of these ads, right? We know what works, but we still do testing because sometimes we don't know what we don't know, right? Now, the three main things to creating a high performance ad is that it has to be captivating. The people have to be able to stop scrolling and look at your ad and actually read through it and go to the call to action. You have to click on the ad, and also it shouldn't look like an ad. Nowadays, every single day I get hit up by ads, and I'm honestly I have something called banner blindness, where if I see something that looks like an ad, I ignore it. It's like selective hearing, but for your eyes. You see an ad and you almost don't even pay attention to it. So your ad should not look like an ad. It should look like a post from a friend or from someone on the newsfeed, rather than an ad trying to get business out of someone. Now here's how to define your ad budget. For real estate investors, I recommend an ad spend budget of $1,000. That's so that we can get motivated sellers. And again, 20 to 30% of your budget is getting put into testing, and then 70 and through 80% of the budget is to double down once we have the testing done. And that would be done at the campaign level also. Now, how to optimize your campaigns. So honestly, it's pretty simple. Probably the most simple part of this whole presentation. If the ad set spent is full, or if it's in the testing budget, keep the ad running. Now, if your ad did not hit the key performance indicators, KPIs, if it did not meet the numbers, kill the ad set. And if it did meet the numbers, leave it running. It's honestly pretty simple. Now, that's pretty much it for this presentation. So I hope that you found some value into this, and now you're able to make a better decision for your business, whether Facebook ads make sense for it or if it doesn't. Now, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to my team. There's a calendar below this video where you can schedule a time to speak with us. That way we can be of use to you. Thanks.